But look at you. You're still here training.
Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighbor Jaxblade is back with another video for y'all today. Today, I have to ask you, have you ever wondered how many calories your favorite characters burn on a day-to-day basis? Like, I'm not even talking about when they're like, you know, going to the gym or training, or like when they're fighting like, you know, various opponents and what they do in their lives. I'm talking about their non-exercise activity thermogenesis, like their activity level throughout the entire day, because they are constantly moving like from pretty much sunrise to sunset, like depending on who they are. But I always thought it was super fascinating just to be like, how many calories would this person actually be burning in a day? And that's why today I'm bringing this video to you. It was actually inspired by a friend of mine because we were watching Baki season 1 and 2 because he hadn't seen them before. He had only seen the Netflix Baki, so we're pretty much carrying his LOBS 1 and 2 for people who don't know what that is. And so we were watching it, and then we got to like season 3, and he was talking about like, geez, I wonder how much Baki burns in a day, just because like you see his activity level, you see the way he trains, you see like what he's doing on a day-to-day basis. And I was like, yo, that is actually a really good point. And so I actually messaged my friend, the anime trainer, and we spent 6 hours going over like the manga panels and just like seeing like what would work, like what does Baki burn in a day. Like, so we've got the average of like, you know, various stats of Baki, and we're like, oh my god, I gotta do a video on this. So like, let's get right into it. Now, before we get started, I want to make this perfectly clear. This is not going to be 100% legit, like, because there's always going to be some tact, but what we're doing is we're just going to implant all the stats that we have of Baki, implant what he does, and then see like how much that adds up to. And actually, here's a fun fact for you, a little spoiler alert. I did this with several other characters just because I had so much fun doing it with Baki, and there are a lot of ones where I'm like, that is stupid, that is stupid. So when we get to the super powered ones, be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe so you do not miss those ones. But for right now, we're just gonna go over Baki, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go over some certain calculations with certain things that we got here. So first things first, let's take the average. We know Baki's height is around 5'6". Now sometimes in like certain subs they'll say like 5'10", but like overall, like it's been consistently 5'6", so that's what we're going with even when he is an 18-year-old. But that goes into our next point. He is 18 years old right now. And then we also have his body fat percentage, which they did say one time, and let's see what it is.
I'd say probably 150 pounds.
And probably only 1% body fat.
Are you sure about that?
This ain't no average kid, man.
Boy, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way, bro. I don't care how insane Baki. Ain't no way he is 1%. Ain't no way. At minimum, I'm gonna give him 5%. All right? 5% seem fair? That's what we're doing. 5% body fat percentage. I think that is fair because ain't no way, bro. I do not care. You, nah.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
So what we're gonna do is just use a basic online calculator and see like where this puts Baki at, like, you know, naturally. Okay, so let's say Baki is 18, he is 5'6", and 168 pounds. So let's calculate that. So his basal metabolic rate is 1,725 calories per day. All right, that is like the only normal thing about him. And then we look at his activity level, and I would say very intense exercise daily, because like we know what Baki is doing. So there we go, we got this. Like, this is an average person. Don't worry, we're gonna add some anime magic bullshit at the end just to make it like seem reasonable for the character. So next we're gonna find out his fat-free mass index. That's just how much lean tissue has on his body compared to fat. So let's just do that real quick. So yeah, 5'6", 168, and ain't no way he is 1% body fat. Yeah, suspicious, unlikely. Okay, like, yeah, I know, see what it says right there? Unlikely, suspicious, all that stuff like that. Yeah, so I just think for the sake of this, I'm gonna do 5%, just because if you were 1% legitimately in real life, you'd be up there training with King Kai, let's just say that. 5%, suspicious. See, now that is great. So right here we have his fat-free mass index shown, so that seems, you know, pretty fitting for the character when he looks like this. Next we're gonna find out his T.D.E.E, or total daily energy expenditure. So what we're gonna do is again put in his age, 18, weight, 168, 5, 6, a short king. And then activity level, athlete. Yeah, that's easy. And then body fat percentage, again, not putting that anywhere else. He is 5%. I am not gonna do that. So let's see. All right, so here around his maintenance calories and 25,000 calories per week. And here are all of his stats, all these little stats right here. I just think that's funny. Just look at these and like look at Baki. I think it's just hilarious. Like if we're doing this realistically. Okay, so right now we have our boy's stats according to this online calculator, which is hilarious. And see right here, this BMI score is saying that he is overweight. Now that is some BS, but this is a very common thing that happens to a lot of people, especially people who have a lot of muscle mass or people who are very tall. So like certain people who are like certain heights and they have a certain weight frame, if they go to a place, it'll say they're overweight, even though like you see them and go like, oh damn, that person is sexy as hell, or oh god, their body's got curves in all the right places, oh god, they got the gains all over the place. But it is silly, he's just overgained. All right, so now let's break down what an average day-to-day life would look like our boy Baki. Now, of course, an average day-to-day life doesn't mean like fighting in a maximum tournament every single day. He does it often, but he doesn't do it every single day. And same thing with, you know, fighting escaped convicts or fighting cavemen with a name reminiscent of a popular Adult Swim meme. So we're just gonna go on an average day-to-day basis. Like Baki trains every single day. Like one of the things I love about Baki is they have straight up said that like every time you see Baki in the manga, he is stronger than when you last saw him. He gets stronger every single day. And I just think that is just so freaking Chad. So let's say he wakes up at about 5 a.m. and we know how much he loves shadowboxing. So I'd say he starts the day off with some shadowboxing, stuff like that, or a run, depending on where he like wants to do for the day. So shadowboxing or a run. And then after that, around like 7:30, let's say he would, you know, take a shower and then he would, you know, eat some breakfast and maybe walk to school and have like an electrolyte drink, okay? These are all assumption based, nothing set in stone, but it seems like it would fit the character. Then most of the day sedentary, and then like gym class happens for 1 hour, and I would consider that like very, very light, like list cardio. Then let's say 12 p.m. lunch. Then school lets out about like 4 p.m. so he's gonna walk home. Now, something that does seem very consistent is Baki always has to deal with like some form of punks and stuff like that. And this isn't even really a challenge to him. It's pretty much like if you walked into a kindergarten class and just started throwing hands with kindergartners, like that's how much you outclass them. And if you're not outclassing kindergartners, we need to talk, bruh. Then of course, let's say he gets home and then he does some like shadow boxing, because we know how much he loves shadow boxing, then hit some of that lifting, and then maybe do some distance work, maybe like, you know, go for a run, because he does love to get his cardio in like that. He is a distance runner, so another chat for that. But also work on some technique work. All right, so like that is a key thing for a lot of martial artists, is not just, you know, doing shadow boxing, like actively, you know, doing the movements and practicing them, making sure you do it, but also working on technique work to make sure that the skill becomes fluid, that it becomes second nature to you. So Baki is a master of that. And the thing is, like on average these days, talking about specifically 18-year-old Baki, he doesn't necessarily train with anyone. Like he trains by himself, and it works so effectively because he's shadow boxing and can literally like envision opponents that like give him damage. So like that is just some next level Chad stuff. Then finish up with some heavy bag work, because we know he loves like just slamming on that bag, and then maybe get some dinner. Then maybe, possibly, I would say he does yoga, unless he does like some form of yoga when he's like training afterwards, because flexibility is so incredibly like important for a martial artist, and Baki is hyper flexible, as we've seen like here and here. So of course he would definitely incorporate some form of stretching. So let's say he does it either before or after dinner. So now let's start adding the stuff up. All right, so we got his body weight in pounds and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna go through activities, and then let's just break this down. So 1 hour, let's say 1 hour, because he's before school and he wakes up at 5. So let's say 1 hour of weightlifting vigorous. So let's calculate how much that is. Oh, about 464 calories. Now, of course, for everyone out there who doesn't actually know this, you don't actually burn a lot during weight training. Like, as a matter of fact, like you'd be better off like doing running or like a lot of cardio exercises if you're really trying to go for a calorie burn versus weight training, because like weight training, while it's great, it's just not the most effective at burning, you know, calories, stuff like that. It's great at helping you build and sculpt the body and making a bigger engine, so that when you're at rest, you start burning more calories more often because you're just more metabolically active. But by itself, itself is not necessarily the most calorie burning thing. So 464, now I wouldn't put it past Baki because he is this way. And I'm just saying that because this calculator online, while it is like very convenient and like it's just like giving us the numbers we need right now, it's not going to be like the most accurate depending on certain things. So I just want to put that out there so y'all understand. Again, we're not taking this 100% accurately or anything like that. This is just for fun. All right, so next up, let's say he does like an hour and 30 minutes. Like Baki is really focused on shadow boxing. It's like he really, that is like his thing. He loves that stuff. So let's say he works out for an hour and 30 minutes doing shadow boxing in the morning. So that is about 1,159 calories. No wonder this boy is freaking ripped as hell and eats so much, all right? Like, you see how much he's burning, like, just before daytime? Like, God, The Rock wishes he could do this. So next, let's say his school's like a 15-minute walk. I think that's fair, like a 15-minute walk away. Like, I think they've mentioned it before, but like, you know, they're so fast in Baki, they can get there like ridiculously. But I don't think he'd like run to school like with the toast in his mouth or something like that. But just pretty much walking moderate. That's about 52 calories, so let's say he does that there and back. So he walks to school, then he walks back home, and it's about 52 calories each way. All right, then let's say he has gym class, and you know, we saw how he did during the festival. He's just too strong for everything, so nothing there is gonna be intense for him at all. It's just too easy. So let's say that's like 1 hour of aerobics, step aerobics. I mean, like, well, it's just a lot of like push-ups, do this, like what I remember from gym class. It was just a lot of blah blah blah, and I'm thinking of the episode right now. So let's say moderate calisthenics. Yeah, moderate calisthenics, that seemed fair. 1 hour. Okay, 348 calories. That's if he's actually like just enjoying himself. All right, so now let's break down his afternoon training. Now we could probably add like 20 calories for when he fights the thugs because it's literally no challenge at all. Like he's not even like breaking a sweat at all when doing this. So I think that's hilarious. So now let's break down like what will happen when he gets home. So let's say he does an hour of lifting. What does this site say? All right, so about 464 calories. Then let's say he runs for an hour. Now I would say he runs very fast, but as we learned that Baki gets into his head and makes himself like run like at a slow pace or a moderate pace. So I'll say like, I'll even out, I'll go in the median and say like he runs at a moderate pace for like an hour. Then let's say he does shadow boxing. So yeah, let's say he does some more shadow boxing for like an hour. So that's about 773 calories. Then let's say he goes back and just punches the bag. Now let's say how many calories he would burn punching that bag because he goes intense with it. And about 773 calories right there. Then let's say he does like a very intense stretching routine. So let's see what this site says. Stretching Hatha Yoga. So that's about 309 calories. Now let's say Kozue comes back over. Now let's just be real. He tore her shit up, bruh. So like they went for hours and hours. So I mean, if I put that in for 3, that'd be like 1,300 calories apparently. And the way they were doing it, I don't put it past them. But for this, let's say it's after the super nut. So it's just, he's gonna be, let's say it goes for like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes. I think an hour, 30 minutes seems valid. All right, and then 690 calories. If this is just a typical average day when he's not fighting in tournaments, he's not fighting against cavemen or his dad or all these other crazy shit. So this is just what an average day amounts to. So let's add it all up. We have 464 for his weights and power training in the morning, plus 1 hour and 30 minutes of shadow boxing, plus when he walks to school and when he walks back from school. Then we have gym class. Let's say he actually is putting in a little effort. Let's say it's about like 348 calories just from the site. It doesn't have to be like, you know, legit. And then let's say he works out at home for another hour, 464. Then let's say he does another hour of shadow boxing and burns 773. Then like he does his hour of running, 792. And then let's say he does his bag work, 773. Then he does some yoga, according to this site, 309. And then 1 hour of sex on top. Though Kozue would be on top. Oh! Plus 690. And like, I'm just gonna be real, a lot of these numbers seem out there, but again, like we're not trying to be as legit as possible. We're just having fun seeing what it is. But also, this final number, which comes out to 5,980 calories burned per day, I don't think it's nowhere near close enough because we haven't taken into account his work capacity, his endurance, his muscular strength, and all this other stuff that goes into play with what he's doing. So of course it's going to be more than the average person. This is just the average person who would be this in real life, how much they would burn. So now what we're going to do is a little bonus thing where we have one more calculation we have to do. We have to put it into the ABMC calculator. And for those of you who don't know what that is the anime bullshit magic calculator. Or animated bullshit magic calculator, whatever works. And so with this, we're gonna have 1 out of 10, but when I did other characters, they were 1 out of 100 or 1,000, so we will get to them later. Now, Baki, for the most part, is a bit grounded of a show, which is just absolutely insane to say, because it's just like,
hey yo, what the fuck?
they're humans, but they're very, very high tier fighters that can sometimes stop earthquakes and kill giant elephants and all that stuff and fight magic pickle men and samurai and all this stuff. So you know what? What we're gonna do on the ABMC calculator is multiply his final number by 3, and that should give us how many calories Baki actually burns in a day. So, Baki burns about 17,940 calories in a day. You know what? That seems valid, though it might be a bit low or it might be too high, but I think that seems reasonable because, like, there are certain characters like freaking Toriko, for people who don't know out there, like Toriko. That character burns about 100,000 calories to 1 million calories per day because their entire series is about eating and food and power and stuff like that. So, comparing Baki to something like Toriko, I think that fits. But damn, that was actually kind of fun. And if you made it this far in the video, type in Kozue Smashing down below. It lets me know who stayed all the way to the end. And let me know, what character would you like to see me do next? Because I did a bunch of these with friends. Like, we did like several of these with friends. So like, let me know down in the comments because I had so much fun. There were certain ones I really want to share with y'all because like when we were going through like everything, because we scoured their entire like manga, because the way we do is we look at the entire like series overall and just to get the average. And it's just like, yeah, no, that is insane how much they do. So I think this is just a fun little topic just to go over. For people out there, I have new merch out. Just wanted to let you know. So go down to my store below. You can get this shirt right now and be wearing it. I actually, this dude right here sent me a video of him wearing his merch and I was like, bro, that's so awesome. And if you get the merch, like show it to me like on Instagram or my Twitter, and then I will definitely share you in the videos because I love seeing your support from all of y'all. I really genuinely do appreciate that. And also, I'm working on Hybrid Theory. It is almost done. And for people who don't know, I worked with like various fighters, boxers, bodybuilders, functional athletes, just to build this overall program that is follow along that you can do just to build up all these great qualities about yourself. Also some physical therapy stuff too, just to prevent injuries so you can get stronger as you're doing it. And I'm super, super excited for it to come out. Working on Make a Spider-Man video. More With That workouts coming, but you can look at the playlist and like catch up on some if you haven't seen them all. And more Tough Like Tunes coming, and you can watch the playlist and check those out too. But remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, moment time. Now go burn some calories because damn, Baki got me feeling tired.